All right, welcome to the new zodiac year. We are doing a solar return reading for the astrological year of 2023 to 2024. Now, a few things before we start. Sorry about the lighting. It's kind of late, but I'm going to put the chart up here for it actually started yesterday, so 0 degrees Aries was about like 5:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's what the chart is displaying. And this is a collective reading. So this is the collective themes you're going to see in this upcoming year. Now, I'm going to say this a few times as we go through. Each planet has a whole range of energies and archetypes associated with it. Really, it's one archetype, but it can show up in different ways. So when you hear me saying it can show up like this, I want you to remember that these energies show up in us and outside of us. And usually they show up outside of us to reflect what is inside of us. And remember, this is collective. So it's not like I'm talking to you exactly. It's more like I'm talking to what you're kind of going to see in the collective conscious and unconscious, which we all are a part of, but it's not like it's for you personal. If you want a personal one, reach out. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. So this is what we are looking at. This is a chart from yesterday at 5:24 p.m. Now, this is going to be a quicker version of the solar return. I'm just going to go through it in one video, and I'm just going to touch on, like I said, the themes that I'm seeing instead of going into detail. Now, my water. Save this. Save this and look at it. Look at it through the year. Also look at it when this is themes of this year. So if you want to save this recording and then wait until the whole year goes by until next Aries season and see what happened, that's a really great way to use astrology if you have that level of dedication. I know not everyone is that into it, and that's fine. So honestly, just keep this reading. Just kind of listen to my words. If what you're seeing on the screen doesn't make any sense, that's fine. That's why I'm here, to make sense of it for you. But just kind of take what resonates and leave the rest, because we all have free will. The collective has free will. You have free will. Humans have free will. There can be stuff communicating in the heavens, and I always say there can be potential there, but if we don't reach for it, if we don't engage with it, it's harder to access. If we're not open to it, if we don't believe things are happening, that's kind of the basis of free will. Nothing is like written in stone. So let's get started. Okay. So how I'm going to do this is we are going to go through the themes of what is coming. Okay, so right now we're in Aries season. We just got here. Let me back up a minute. We have a moon in Pisces and a Virgo rising for this new year. So that means that we're really connected into source this next year. Our emotional world, which is our moon. So this is the collective moon. We're going to be feeling a lot. We're going to be processing a lot. And that's going to show up in our daily reality. And that is going to kind of color the glasses we see the world with, is how kind of open our hearts are to source, spirit, God, higher power, love, insert whatever word works for you. But whatever we are open to, whatever we are processing, whatever we are feeling is what we're going to see in our world. So Virgo and Pisces are sister signs. Meaning Pisces, we just got out of Pisces season. Pisces is very connected to spirit, source, all of that. It's kind of like a conduit, and Virgo takes that energy and makes it real. So Pisces is this conduit to your dreams, to the ethers, to the quantum, to all these things you want, to your higher self. And Virgo makes it real. So how this is going to play out, you're going to feel more connected to your dreams. You're going to feel more connected to your desires and your spiritual story and your purpose, your divine purpose, your soul's purpose. And you're going to start seeing that in real life, kind of however you're feeling it. So maybe right now you're not feeling connected to your divine purpose. You're feeling really disconnected. That's what's going to show up in your life. And that is not a bad thing. All of my readings, there's no good and bad. There's just things that are happening to evolve us. And this year is a really big year to evolve us forward, to give us a new foundation on which to grow off of. Because we all know there's a lot of upheaval right now, and we're changing, we're shifting. We are entering into this age of Aquarius. So that means more equality for everyone and just an up level. So with this moon in Pisces and Virgo rising, it really means like whatever your dreams are, whatever you're feeling, whatever connection you have is what's going to be real. So if you're like, I'm super connected, I'm feeling it, you're going to see that in your life. If you're feeling it, if you're feeling, I'm not that connected, you're going to see that in your life. If you're feeling, I'm kind of on my purpose, but I'm not, you're going to see that in your life. If you're feeling, I'm totally around all these people that I just don't belong with and I want to go into a different place in life, you're going to see that. Whatever you believe is possible for you is what you're going to see. That's basically what it comes down to. And this is on a collective level. Now, the piece of that is a lot of times we are going to have to say no to what we currently have that we're like, this isn't what I want, basically. Or not even want. This isn't what my soul wants. This isn't the truth of my soul. I'm not where I feel honored. I'm not where I feel the best. You might experience that. You might already be experiencing it, actually. You're probably already experiencing it and wanting to move away. And, you know, that is just the work. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, and you might feel, hold on, a little stuck. You might feel a little mad at that too. You might just be frustrated. You might start off feeling very frustrated. You're like, I'm not where I want to be. I know I'm meant for something else. My reality around me isn't what I want. And that's fine. Feel through those feelings and know that when you start saying no to what you don't want is when you let in what you do want. So just know that whatever you're feeling, whatever you think is possible for you, especially in the area of relationships, there's a big emphasis on relationships. Even if you are already in one, there's always deeper levels you can go. If you're not in one, or if you're looking for your soul tribe, or you're looking for just everything, you know, you really have to feel through these feelings that you aren't worthy of it, or it's just not meant for you, or you're not going to have a relationship, or you're just like, it's just not me. All those beliefs are what you think is possible for you, and that's what's showing up in your life. So you are going to really get a chance to see what you really believe, because that is what is outside in your external. That is what is becoming real for you. And again, you might be looking around and being like, no, 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 no. You might feel stuck. You might feel like you can't really access this part of you, like your soul part that you know is bigger. You might be feeling all of that, and that's totally fine. You just have to work, just have to. It's not that easy. You just have to feel those feelings and unearth the beliefs that why? Like, why do you think you don't belong in these like amazing relationships or amazing partnerships or have like a soul tribe around you? Why isn't that showing up in your life? Why don't you believe it? So that's just a bit of deeper work that we're all going to have to do. And if you get stuck there, go back to your heart. What do you want? What do you want in this life? Everything is here for you. Literally, Everything is here for you. You have to believe. And in order to believe, you have to go in and look at the fears and the stories that are telling you you can't have that. Now I'm saying this because in Aries season, there's stellium, there's Chiron, there's Jupiter, there is Mercury, and the sun. And that's on the 8th house. This is transformation. The collective is transforming their deepest wounds through communication, through communicating, not from the ego, not from the past conditioning, but they're really getting a chance to communicate from their heart space and communicate what they're really feeling and communicate their dreams. And this won't always be easy because there is painful baggage here. There's a lot of painful baggage in the collective about communicating. There's a lot of things that need to be transformed about how we view our fear, how we view our pain, and how we oftentimes push that onto other people and we don't alchemize it in ourselves. We don't feel it in ourselves. And that is going to kind of come to a head. Yeah, we're going to be seeing that in every aspect of our life. Because going back to, you can have whatever you want, but you're looking around your external and you're like, well, where is it? You have to feel through some of these feelings to get to it. And the feelings might be big, they might be in your face. You may have a hard time communicating, and you may maybe be a little impulsive. You may be a little like, I'm done waiting for this. Where is it? Why isn't it here? Or you might just give up. You know, it's either or. You might be really impulsive, or you might just give up and be like, I'm done. Yeah, you're going to feel a little stuck, and you're going to have to work through those fears. You're going to have to transform those fears in the collective. So this looks like fears of standing up and speaking your truth and being known for who you are, because that is what will bring these soul tribe relationships to you. Speaking your truth, being authentic, standing up and shining, not letting things like the patriarchy or big business or capitalism or white supremacy, all of these structures, because I'm looking at this Pluto, a 29 degrees Capricorn, that is structures. And remember, this is collective. So we can no longer let all of these abuses that big business and big structures and big government do, we can no longer just be like, oh, that's whatever. You know, this is really a time, I think I said it in my TikTok video, to own your sacred rage. That is communication. And that is working through your fears about what happens when you speak your truth. Now, sacred rage doesn't mean you go rage around on everyone. It means you alchemize that energy, but you use that power, because we all have rage inside of us, and we just all do. And getting it out frees up our own life force energy. So like, if you're mad about something that happened back when you were like 5, punch a pillow, like beat some whatever, just get it out, shake, run, yell, whatever it looks like to you. But that will free up that prana, and it will give you energy to fight these battles against these big systems that we are no longer allowing. Remember, this is going into the age of Aquarius. We're redoing big systems, banking, schools, government. I mean, on and on and on and on. But we have to stand up and do our work and make our voices heard for what we actually do want. We can no longer just complain about what we don't want, or think someone else is going to take care of it, or think the governments are going to take care of it. No, we have to start doing our inner work to make our dreams a reality here and live in our in our truth. And when we're living in our truth, that's not suppressing anyone. That's not like keeping anyone down. That's like just not the society we have right now. We're moving away from that. And it really starts with every single person on an individual level. And having a hard time speaking. This is important. Okay, so there's a lot of fears that are going to be transformed now in Aries season. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to go through the different seasons and kind of touch on what's happening. And right now, there's a lot happening right now. So what happens in this Aries season is really coloring all of next year. What fears come up? What dreams do you want to make a reality? And what fears are blocking that? And what beliefs do you have that you can't have that? And where are you not speaking your truth? And where are you letting these fears just expand into these huge things that just doesn't have to be that way? And where can you, yeah, there's definitely help here. That's like, we don't have to do that way anymore. Like, yeah, it's uncomfortable to feel our fears and our pain, but when we do, we really start to be seen a certain way and attract our people to us. And as long as we're doing that from a foundation of love, meaning I'm speaking my truth not to cut down someone else, I'm speaking my truth because it's on my heart and I care about this system or this group of people or this whatever it is. What's coming to mind is like when Flint, Michigan had no water and everyone was like, that sucks, but it lasted for a really long time. It could still be lasting now. And what's coming to mind with that is that this is just an example. Like that's something where if every single person stood up on behalf of these people that had no water because they genuinely wanted them to have water, not make it political, not make someone wrong, not just use it as just another like cog in the government wheel. Because when we are standing up in that energy of like, you're wrong, you're bad, it just creates more of that and it creates more decisiveness. What we're being asked to do now is still stand up in our pure sacred rage and say, I care about humanity. I care about this person having fresh water. These people need water, not this government's bad, this party's bad. I can't believe you don't support them. All of that. That is going because that just creates more of that and it doesn't work. Okay. I hope the frogs aren't too loud. Okay. So after this Aries season, which a lot is happening, we're going to head into Taurus season. And this is where, okay. So Aries season is going to unearth the beliefs. Aries seasons are going to unearth the beliefs of why don't you believe in yourself? Why don't you believe your dreams can come true? Why don't you believe that these sacred unions and sacred partnerships or amazing relationships with your kids or whatever, why don't you believe they are true? Start to feel through the pain, start to feel the fears. Don't let them get out of control and focus on communicating just focus on what you're doing and make sure you're doing it in love, not ego. So that's going to bring a lot up. And it's going to shake up our foundation of our daily reality. So our daily reality could really get shooken up because of this. But then Taurus season comes and we ground more into our new foundation. So we'll have a newer foundation. We will be a little more firm, but it's not going to be like, we may be feeling a little more firm and stable, but we have Uranus here. And we also have a fixed square between Black Moon Lilith, the North and South Node, and Pluto. So this is basically setting a new foundation of we're not ignoring our past, we're moving from it, but we're integrating what we have all learned. We are integrating what works and what doesn't work. And we're integrating new systems and new structures. And we're integrating our fears. Basically, it's like a huge shadow work. We're anchoring down into shadow work, which is basically looking at these things that we don't want to look at. And a lot of it has to do with our role in communities. Where have we turned the cheek? Where have we not stood up for our humans, our humankind? Where have we not shown our light so we can be a beacon for others? Where have we let I'm just going to call it patriarchy, where have we let that suppress us and limit us? And how can we start to shake that up? So what might happen in Taurus season is that something might come and shake something up. But again, it's so these things can be unearthed. So then once we see where we're at in our foundation, we can then start to shift. We can then start to build. We can then start to be kind of like, well, what do I want to create? And what's coming through, it could be something with women, could be something with women's rights. It could be something coming up out of the past about how women have been mistreated. Um, Something about women's rights, something about female bodies, like something, there's going to be a shift in belief somewhere along this, somewhere in here that is really going to, it's really going to shake some things up, but then it's going to resettle us. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, ah, okay, I see that something happened and I don't want to believe that anymore. It's like, it's like, imagine if like a big women's rights person like went through this scandal and something really like not great happened to her, and then everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened, and then she just kept going, and then you're going to be like, wow, she kept going, I can keep going. If she can speak her truth, I can speak my truth. It's going to be something like that, where it's going to shake up the status quo. But again, it's doing that to unearth just the last bits, not the last bits, just to unearth the fear that is underlying in the collective psyche of what it looks like to stand up and speak your truth. Because there's a lot of that there. It's like the witch wound. The witch wound is going to be exposed, and it's going to be exposed so then you can craft a new belief around it. Craft a new belief around, I can stand up and speak my truth and shine, and I have these gifts, and a lot of these gifts have been passed down for ages, and there's a lot of like healing that has to go in, but that's why we're building this foundation. We're building this foundational like um yeah, foundation. That's going to be really important. Something with women, something with female energy, something with emotions that has really been affecting the subconscious, the psyche of the world for a really long time is going to be unearthed, and it's going to shake something up. But then we're going to settle into like, well, what do I really believe? How do I really want to be? Like, does this feel right? And it's not, but it's going to be happening for a reason. Okay. So again, this is just kind of a quick one, a quick solar return. So that's Taurus season. So then we go into Gemini, and we're gonna get like a oomph of power here. We are gonna get like, well, we're not gonna like, we're gonna get something's gonna be communicated in Taurus season that we aren't gonna like. It's gonna hurt our heart. It's gonna hurt our heart. It's gonna hurt our faith. It's gonna shake our foundation, and we're gonna be like, I don't know if I can act on the truth of my soul. I don't know if I can step into this new being. I'm scared. I'm scared of what happened before. I'm scared of taking my personal power back. It's sometimes easier just to be one of the crowd, but we can't be one of the crowd anymore. And this is another time, as long as we're doing things from the foundation of our heart and our soul and what we feel like is true. So this means it's not about what we like and what we don't like. It's acting from, what's the truth of my soul saying? What is the truth here? We are transcending our emotional world of like, well, I like this and I don't like that. We're not doing that anymore because we're much more stable. We're much more grounded. We know that we're here for a purpose. We incarnated here on purpose. So whatever happened in Taurus season that kind of shakes up the collective unconscious in regards to like females or emotions or spirituality, something like that, we're not going to like it. We're going to be like, ooh, but it's necessary. And we're going to be able to be like, okay, I don't really like it. It hurts my heart, but it's something that had to come up from the past and be transformed. But now we have more boundaries, and we will be okay with whatever is happening, and it's going to be public. It's going to be like in the limelight. And yeah, it's going to be something that affects our community. But again, we're transcending past I didn't like that, to maybe something had to come up and come out so then we can really see what is going on, so then we can build something new. This whole year with Saturn and Pisces is about building a new foundation from love, not from ego or just this kind of like airy fairy, like we Pisces stuff, dreams into reality. We need a real actual foundation on which to build. Remember, we have this Pisces moon, Virgo rising, and Saturn in Pisces. This is foundation. We're rebuilding a foundation and we don't really know what the building looks like. So that's why there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of upheaval. Okay, so then we go into Cancer season, and that's kind of your respite. There's not too much happening. It's going to be a time to nurture. It's going to be a time to make our emotions feel safe, go just kind of calm ourselves, nurture the groups around us, nurture our hopes and dreams, because we really got rocked and now we're like, okay, what do I believe? All right. And this is just a time to be with your emotional world. Cancer season's always kind of up and down. It's always kind of emotional. And remember, this is just major themes. It's not like daily transits of Cancer season. This is themes. So Cancer season is just going to be more about being with and nurturing our emotional world after all of that upheaval. Okay. Then Leo season. So Leo season, there's going to be some stuff coming up from your subconscious again about, okay, so it's like you started to shine and then you got nervous and then something happened and you're like, oh God, look what happens when I shine. So then in Cancer season, we go back in. But then in Leo season, you're feeling the energy and you're kind of like, I'm going to shine again. I feel ready. I feel good. But there is going to be some hurdles to doing this. But you are going to have to kind of, there's stuff in the subconscious here. This is the witch wound stuff. This is for sure witch wound stuff, and how we have to transcend all of that stuff, saying all of the stuff against females and witches and people, spiritual people and people, all of that lurks in our psyche, because it's in there, especially if you're watching this. We're gonna get a chance to get a chance. We're gonna, some things, we're gonna want to start to shine, and we're gonna start taking a little action, and then we're gonna be like, whoa, I'm still scared, which is okay, because again, if you find someone that you can really communicate these fears to, and that other person will communicate back to you that, hey, it's okay, that will work through them. It's like you communicating, standing up, or maybe it's not even a person, maybe you do it online, maybe you do it, somewhere, to a group, but that's going to be really transformational. You speaking up for whatever it is that's on your heart that you want to share, you speaking up about it, even if you're scared, and even if you feel like society isn't really gonna take it well, you're still gonna do it, and that is what's gonna heal. It's gonna heal that part of it. It's gonna clear that past karma, and it is gonna enable you to really step into those gifts, step into being seen, step into being you. We're really becoming more us this year, regardless of what's going on in the external world. The external world is going through a big shift, and if we look to it for guidance, or if we keep looking to media, news media, whatever, we're just gonna we're gonna get scared, and we're gonna go back into our like shell, and we're gonna be like, oh my God, like look at all this stuff going on. How can I create any change? No. Like, we have to be sourcing our power from within, and knowing that this is part of our plan here. Because the outside world is going to be going through a lot, and if we get sucked into that, then we are just like abdicating our power to the outside world, and that's not what is going to move us forward. Remember, this is collective reading. Okay, so that's Leo season. Now we move into Virgo season. Let's see here. Virgo season. Well, whatever happened in Taurus season that kind of shook up the collective beliefs about women and the witch wound and ancestral and how women get treated, it's going to kind of come up again. And whatever happened is going to hurt our heart. It might hurt our heart in our closest relationships. We might find out that someone agrees with something that's going on and we don't. And we're going to have to, find a balance there. And we're going to have to work through our old pain about us standing firm in our beliefs when other people don't believe it. Because it's not our job to control other people's beliefs. It's our job to stand up for what we believe in and shine our light regardless. So when Virgo season comes around, whatever kind of happened in Taurus season, whatever was unearthed, there might be shades of it coming around again in your closest relationships, and you might be faced with like, oh, we don't see things eye to eye, and you are going to have to do the work there of like, okay, is this something that's repairable in this relationship or is it not? Because whatever happened in Taurus season to unearth this belief is unearthing a lot of beliefs. Then you can choose if you want to believe them or not believe them. Whatever happened in Taurus season was super karmic, and it was making sure that we get into our hearts. What do you really believe in here? What makes you feel good? What is in your heart? And that doesn't matter what other people think if you really believe it and you stand firm in your heart, because what will that will do, that will make you a beacon for other people that believe that same thing. And it's going to be transformational. It's going to be something in your identity that you're like, well, I always thought I believed this, but now you're seeing you don't. And you're going to have to do the work of like, do I need to be around people that believe everything I believe, or can I lead the way, or do I need to put a boundary up, or do I need to leave? Like, these are all going to be questions that you kind of deal with. And it could be a friend group, could be a close relationship. It's a relationship of some sort, but again, remember, this is collective. So as long as you believe it in your heart, stand firm against external circumstances. Stand in your light. That's how you bring your people to you. Okay. So then we go, that was Virgo. Now we're in Libra. Libra is going to be a balance. There's going to be the collective is going to be feeling a bit more safe. There was a lot of upheaval, but now Libra's coming in and it's going to bring a balance, and it's going to bring a balance probably back to our finances of whatever's been happening. It's going to bring a balance back to how safe we feel in the world, because we probably have been feeling unsafe. We've probably been really like, whoa, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can stand strong. It's like the little person against like the big Libra season is going to bring a bit of calmness. So really enjoy Libra season. Get back in your body, do the breathing, connect with nature, just like be here now, kind of. Because Scorpio season is next. Scorpio season always brings about a lot, and this one is no different. So Scorpio season is going to, well, Scorpio season is going to say, hey, get back in your heart. Get back in your heart. Make decisions from your heart. Because whatever's going on in the collective with women is is deep and it's karmic, and we might be feeling it again, and you might be wanting to take some action. You might be really wanting to stand up and be seen for what you believe in. You might want to be saying something. You might want to just be taking a stand, and you might feel like the outside world saying, nope, you can't do that. It's like if the outside world's like, no more protests, and you're like, but I really want to stand up, and they're like, no, you can't. Then it's like, okay, I need to find a different way. I think there's going to be a different way of protesting going on, that's more to the point. Like there's going to be a big shift in how people voice their opinions and how they act on those opinions. So like an example that's coming up is protesting, or also like I think of keyboard warriors, like people who just sit behind the screen and post things or get in arguments. Like that doesn't work anymore, because that is not coming from the heart. That's more coming from, I want to make you wrong. And that's not the vibe anymore, is I want to make you wrong. It's the vibe is more, I want to give everyone a leg up. I want to stay in my heart and speak my truth for all these people and for the collective. It's not about making someone wrong. That's like out. But this is scary for sure. And it's going to bring up a lot of ways that you feel like you can't always communicate. And you're going to be like, well, what am I really communicating? Am I really saying what I want to say? Am I letting fears of what other people might think get in the way? There's going to be a look into that, because this is the South Node. So it's going to show up in your communities. It's going to show up and how you communicate to your communities. Like you are really going to be asked to speak from your heart and be vulnerable, and this is what brings the people to you. This is what brings your tribe to you. And you might get like a boost of like other people coming in and helping you. Like if you're standing up and saying like, I want this, other people might be like, oh, I'll help you, but you have to stand up and say it. And that's not always easy, because it's like you're like, no, I'm not sure I can do this. But you just keep anchoring back into your heart and your love, and there will be some close relationships coming in that will help you, that will stand behind you, that will give you the structure to do this. Even if you're like, dude, the outside world's falling apart, like I don't know if I can like stand strong for what I believe in. You can, and there will be people coming to help you. Like we're building a new system, we're building a new system to hold all of this feminine. And by feminine, we all have feminine energy in us. We're relating to our emotions a different way. This is another way to say it. Like something's going on with our emotional world that got an upheaval, and then we're all emotional and we're like, well, I don't know. Something is happening in Scorpio season to give us a better container for our emotions, give us a better structure, make us feel more safe, make us feel more able to be ourselves, really give us the belief that it is okay to be who we are, just to be authentically us. And remember that we're still building from that piece of this authentic. And being authentic means that you are letting your real emotions out. Like this is that like sacred rage I was talking about. Again, you don't go raging on somebody. You let that out, and then you release the power, and then you have the power to go create change. And like if we don't release that, that's when you get the keyboard warriors, and that's when you get like just wanting to make someone wrong. But like our sacred rage really comes from a piece of us that was wronged in the past. Like there's a little inner child piece of us that we have to reclaim, and then we can use that rage. It's like not, I don't want to say tainted, but it doesn't have our stuff in it. It's more like our stuff has been dealt with. So then we can just take that energy and be like, hey, I don't think this is right. Or hey, I don't think this is fair. Or hey, I want to run for office. Or hey, I want to support this person. Or hey, I'm starting a new like online platform to get the message out of what people need, something like that. Something like that. All right. So that's big. And then Sagittarius season. This is big too. So Sagittarius season, again, we're really rewriting our beliefs about this feminine energy, about what women or feminine energy's role is, and how we can build something new with our emotions and all of us, the divine feminine. It's like the divine feminine lives in all of us. It's our emotional world. It's our connection to source. It's our connection to the world, the earth. We're really being asked to not forget that. So that's kind of like, I keep talking about this thing that happened in Taurus season, but that's a big piece of it. And when we get to Sagittarius season, we're gonna kind of feel how that really has affected us inside, like us not being able to be true to our emotions. Um, yeah, wow. We're really gonna feel some pain over it. And we're really gonna be like, remember, this is collective. So like something could happen to the earth, like, or something could happen to, and I don't mean like something, I just kind of mean like something can happen that shakes our foundation of Mama Gaia, like the earth we live on. And that will shake our own foundation of like how we treat things that are really valuable. Like we don't treat the earth very well. And we don't treat our internal world very well. And a lot of us don't really have a connection with source, and we don't trust. All of that stuff is going to be coming up from our childhoods when that was all like when stuff is going to be coming up from our childhoods when we couldn't voice it then, that we didn't feel valuable, that we didn't treat ourselves well. And we're really going to have to rewrite our beliefs around that. And basically, how do you treat something you care about? How do you honor your emotions? How do you not like, and when I say honor your emotions, it means you do with your internal world and you're not reacting on other people. You're dealing with your own sacred rage and your own emotions and all of that stuff, and you're making space for it, and you are becoming a loving mother to your own internal world. Because a lot of us, that's inner child work, and a lot of that inner child work we don't look at. So a lot of that past pain we operate in, we react on people because a part of us is hurt from a long time ago. That's why people get reactive in like small situations. Like if you ever like have a bad interaction with someone at like the grocery store and you're like, whoa, where did that even come from? Chances are it's like an inner child response, like something was triggered that reminded you or this person of something when you were younger and you couldn't do it. Like that's how these things work. So like what could happen is like a big system could misuse the earth or misuse feminine energy or misuse emotions or not honor the female body or something like that. And that can really bring up a lot of pain, our own personal pain. So something could happen in the external which triggers our own pain, and that's something that we have to look at, we have to work through, and we have to basically adopt the belief that it's okay to be all of me. It's okay to have my emotions. Again, we're coming back to the emotions, and it's okay to share my emotions with people in an authentic, vulnerable way, not a reactive way of like, you did this to me, just a way of like, I'm feeling this. And this will be very healing to ancestral lines. This will be very healing towards the women of the country in general, of the world, remember, this is the world, it's not just the states. So there's a lot of inequality out there towards women, and I think it's going to come to a forefront, and it's really going to make us think, and it's really going to make us feel through these old pains about times when we weren't valued or respected, or our feelings were by people or by systems or by structures. Like this has a lot to do with like systems and structure. So like what's coming up is like racism. It's like that's a system, that's a structure that has really oppressed people and made them a lot of pain, and that does not honoring the earth. Like something like that will come up, and it will be collective, but it will also make us look at like, what am I really believing in here about my own internal world and how I honor myself. Well, that would be fun. But Sagittarius season is optimistic, so we'll be okay. Let's see if there's anything else. No. Okay. All right, so then we are in Capricorn. So Capricorn is going to bring Capricorn. Capricorn. Capricorn season is again going to bring out, it's going to be a look into, okay, where are we? Because by the end of Capricorn season, we've really gone through almost the whole zodiac year. So it's going to be like a recap of like, all right, where are we? How's our heart doing? How is our, like, how are we feeling about things? And what we're kind of going to be feeling is, well, we're going to be feeling a little oomph from that work we just did in Sagittarius. We're going to be, because after you feel through these feelings, you always feel better because you release that energy. So we're going to have like an oomph. And then we're also going to remember our dreams. We're going to be like, oh yeah, I want to do this. I have this dream. This is going to be great. So we're going to get a little oomph there. And we're going to need it, because whenever we get like an oomph to act, those fears are going to come back in. We're going to be like, oh, I was feeling good on my dreams, but now I'm a little scared. But again, that doesn't mean don't act. That doesn't mean don't do the thing. It just means work through the fears. And in order to work through the fears, think about your new belief systems that you have been installing, and really tune into your this Pisces moon of like, what I want is out there. What I want wants me. Tune into this foundation of love that we're building, and just start to take the steps. Take the steps knowing that like this is your birthright. Take the steps knowing that you are connected to source. Take the steps knowing that like us taking the steps is how we break down these old barriers for everybody, and us shining helps other people shine. And even when it's scary, we can still do it. So like it's not going to be easy, but this is a time to really anchor into the knowing that, and this is what I said earlier, is like, this year is not about what I like and what I don't like. It's anchoring into the truth of your soul, that you are a piece of spirit down here on earth, and we are entering the age of Aquarius, because Pluto will be in Aquarius now. And that transcends what I like and what I don't like, and it transcends I'm feeling bad or I'm feeling good. It's like we're more whole in our soul, if you will. Whole meaning like we're feeling more of our spiritual essence here on earth, and we're making decisions from that place. Still not always easy. Still there's fears, but when we anchor into that, we can work through these fears easier. Okay, so then we go into Aquarius. And Aquarius will be kind of chill. Again, the theme of Aquarius will be chill-ish, because Pluto will be in there now. So we'll just be kind of like getting used to that. We'll be like, whoa, okay, but there's not too much going on in this chart. We'll just be kind of getting used to like how this is affecting our day-to-day, how kind of how we want our day-to-day to go. What do we want our day-to-day to be like? Like, what groups do we want to be around? What do we want our routine, like, what can we do on a day-to-day basis to enhance our own vibration? You know, it's that kind of stuff. It would just be kind of like a recalibrating month, if you will, because we always need a recalibrating month, and Aquarius is really vibrational anyways, so it's just going to be kind of like we're going to be getting used to this vibrational energy that Pluto brings and how that kind of weaves in our daily lives. So it's just going to be like, okay, we're getting used to that. We're getting used to our new vibration, because after we're doing all this work, we're releasing. When we release old emotions, old heavier emotions that have been stored for lineages, like we have been doing, especially in Sagittarius season, our vibe rises, and it takes a minute for our body to get used to that. So by the end of next year, the collective is going to be getting used to our new vibration, and that's just kind of what Aquarius season is going to be about next year, which will be good because then we'll move into Pisces, and there's a lot going on in Pisces. There's a stellium in Pisces, so this is where relationships are going to come back to a head. Let's see. So, okay. Basically, Pisces season, we're going to be wanting to take action, but, well, okay. So we are going to want to take action in Pisces season because we've been through so much and we're like, can't we just do something already? But if it's that ego action, it's not going to work. If it's just taking action for the sake of taking action for you to feel better, it's a no-go. But if you want to take action to build a foundation off of love, it's a yes go. And that's really encouraged. So what's going to happen next Pisces season? All of this stuff that we have been unearthing about the collective feminine pain and the collective emotions and feminine energy and what people really believe about it, all of that has really been unearthed this year, and we've started to speak about it. Now we're laying this new foundation. Now we're like, okay, now we are going forth in love. Now we have had all of that experience of like all of this crazy, like trying to shine and all this collective stuff coming out, and you trying to like speak and attract these people and do this stuff and feeling like, it's because emotions have to come out. We have to have that embodied experience of what we don't want in order to know what we do want. So then things are going to start to build. Not saying that things aren't building the whole year, but there will be an emphasis on safety and security, and we'll be feeling better. We will be feeling more like, okay, we went through a lot, or we're somewhat on the other side. And if we're building a strong, sturdy foundation off of love in our relationships, it's going to reflect out positively through all these areas of life, and it's going to move humanity forward, and it's going to bring in abundance, spiritual abundance, if we've been releasing all this stuff and kind of doing the work. If we haven't, basically, if we get ungrounded and we go too much into our feelings, it's not going to work either. Like getting ungrounded in relationship and kind of living in like a fantasy of like, everything's cool, and if I don't speak my truth, it doesn't matter. That doesn't work anymore. because it does matter. Because of another theme of this whole year is each one of us doing our part for the collective, each one of us standing up and shining our light so people can find us while staying grounded. Remember, we had this Pisces moon and a Virgo rising. So like if we're just up in the ethers, like doo-dee-doo, and not bringing that like spiritual love down to this plane, and like really, like this year's not about isolating anymore. This year is about taking ourselves out and shining our light and and bringing our heart space forward and leading in love, because that's just what the year's about. And if we don't do that, nothing's going to happen. And you're going to see it next Pisces season. You're going to be like, the only way that you can move forward is in love. It's a sturdy foundation of love, and then you can. So how this looks is something might happen, and you might want to make a quick decision, like a snap decision, or a decision based on an old way of being. But you always have to check in with, like, is it from a foundation of love in your heart versus a more like fantasy version of something? Like there's always a kind of urge this year to slip into fantasy and not face the reality of what's actually going on in the world. And again, that's not what we're meant to be doing. We're building a new foundation. We're seeding a new generation of Pluto and Aquarius built off a foundation of love for humankind and love for yourself, not ungrounded. Kind of what's coming to mind is like if we're all just wanting to leave the earth and go into the 5D, and it's like, wow, hold the phone. Like we don't leave the earth. The earth comes with us. That's why we have to take care of it, because the earth is ascending. And if we get too like ungrounded and in an illusion and like I'm gonna go ascend off to the 5D, that's not what it's about either. It's about bringing the spiritual love down to earth and like seeding a new foundation with that. So that's actively not escaping. That's actively staying present with all these emotions that are coming up and really facing our part in everything, like where we haven't stood up for ourselves, for others, or where we acted from ego, all of that. And that's not always an easy thing to look at. So if you're watching this and if you watched it through, I congratulate you, because there's a lot going on. But again, there's so much good too. Like literally, we can make our dreams come true as long as they are grounded in a foundation of love, and we're doing the work. We're releasing what has to be released. We're taking ownership of what has to be taken ownership of. And we're moving the planet forward, basically. There's also a grand trine in here. So like when we do this work, we're moving the planet forward, which is awesome. Yay. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna stop this share and now I will stop recording.